Fantastic afternoon. Let's do the usual moving a window while everything stutters and get going on this thing. Alright, let's get going. So, continuing on with Source Field. So this one will take a while. It always does. It's just normal for it to do so. And, okay. Actually, wait a sec. Hold on just a moment. Give me like 30 seconds here. Okay, all back. Thought somebody was at the door, but apparently somebody was, for whatever reason, trying to clean their shoe by kicking their door. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, moving on. So, Source Field, this one's going to take a while, so first of all, let's go back to Fidok. Wait a minute, I just noticed last time I called this one Fidok, didn't... Or I called, I called friggin' Heim Fidok, I'm an idiot. Anyway, no, so, yeah. Barnesia, there we go. That's the one where you fight, where you go to the staircase and you fight Kashwa. She's not going to make it through this run. We got Heim over here, and then, yeah. So we're going to go back to Fidok. Mostly because I want to check if, yes, we got Damask Vests. And we got... Okay. Quick thing here. Mage Knights and Mage Knights. Okay, just making sure. For some reason I thought that there was like a heavy caster variant. Or a heavy archer variant. There's really no reason why there would be. I think my brain's in a weird place today. Anywho. Let's go ahead and get all those done. Let's go pick up some vests. Actually, we should have Damask. No, we don't have Damask yet. So we'll get Damask later. Sword-wise, I believe we're... Oh, no. We're still... Oh, boy. Alright, well, the one-handers... Yeah, it's like a 10 upgrade. I can afford 2 Nagamakis. Because we're kind of pushing the actual limits of what we can sell here already. Almost everything's sold. Let's get rid of that. Nah. That thing was more expensive to make. Get rid of these 3. That'll give us a few pretty pennies. Anything armor-wise? No, we already went through all that. So, first things first, armor, though. Because our weapons are already doing pretty alright, so... We need 11 of those. We're just shy of that. Alright. Okay, well those 2 probably won't get attacked very much. None of the archers probably will, so we'll go ahead and upgrade all these guys, leave our weapons as is for the time being. The only ones... Send some cuirasses. Yeah, I think that the archers setting with cuirasses are probably just fine for the time being. I'd really like to get those upgraded swords. Oh, you know what? Who's ready to get naked? Sorry, all you guys. That's who. There we go. Let's get rid of all of that. Okay, yeah, that'll give us something. And I can at least get a couple of them swords. Be a little bit better off. Okay. So then we'll be able to go sell a couple more. So who's got the highest strength already? Or the highest dex, rather? So I think Vice should have one of these. And who's got the next highest dex? Actually, wait, these scale with dex, don't they? Yes. Okay. Interesting thing, by the way, with the whole duelist blades thing. You might be wondering what, like, if that's supposed to be like a, oh, you know, they're talking directly about the Swordmaster there. I don't know if this is intentional, but historically speaking, a lot of sword fighters actually had gone to Asia, and actually a lot of officers and stuff like that, especially on the British side, came back. They're like, okay, so you know, we went and fought these guys. They had some pretty nifty swords. You know, they had these cool patterns on them. And so they really liked them, and a lot of them ended up bringing them back either as like dueling weapons or ceremonial type of stuff. So yeah. Wonder if that's potentially what is being referenced there. I kind of hope it is. That'd be pretty cool. Alright, let's upgrade you, and then that just leaves Felicia. We got 3,800. Anything else we can sell? First of all, I should probably train up them ninjas to have all of their abilities. Doop-de-doop. Doop-de-doop. And doop-de-doop. That way I can stop being tempted to sell these all the time. Also, I should probably give them their abilities, huh? I don't think I even have any of these on there. So that's always good. That's always good. One of their biggest strong points. Let's just go ahead and not use it. Why even bother? But no, they're really good, especially the paralysis and silencing ones. Like if you've ever wondered why they're given, you know, short bows and stuff like that, even in the base game, it's mostly because, well, you just gave them their buff abilities, and it didn't matter if they didn't do damage. Didn't matter whatsoever. Okay, they've all got Arts of War. Good. Good. But yeah, it didn't matter, because just landing those debuffs was enough. Okay, so I can get that to 6750. You know what? Actually, we can afford it. Get rid of those. Get rid of those. Get rid of those. Yeah, that should be it. Actually, I might not even need to sell the other sword yet. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. I mean, it was totally planned the whole time. What are we talking about? Okay. Get another Nagamaki. It's been kind of difficult to find all those different names for different swords over there. They seem to typically like just saying, hey, it's a sword. Its sword's real good. Alright, moving on. Alright, if we could go ahead and not, that'd be great. So, a little bit worried about the archers, but they should be fine, realistically. Like, maybe I should have gone for one more vest, but that's literally every penny we have, so... Like, aside from going and starting to sell consumables, which, granted, I don't use that often, and I only have a couple characters I can even use, period. I probably should pick up some more Mend Leaves. This is not great. Okay. It's fine. That's fine. So we'll do the usual. We'll put 2 Sword Masters up here. Especially Yunin, because he's got that extra Draconology bonus. We'll put 2 Sword Masters on the right, as well as all the archers. We'll have the ninjas supporting supporting the center up until those dragons are dead, after which they'll be moving over to take that left side. So if we zoom out here real quick, basically I want them circling around this side, dealing with all the squishies on this end. They would typically get abandoned. At that point, they'll be able to circle around and start harassing the healers in the center here, because they usually wind up around here. And then we just have the Sword Masters go around that side. Those 2 will defend here until they pincer in through the tar. So that sounds like a plan. Sounds like a thing we're gonna do. My nose decided to make weird noises all of a sudden. Alright. Whatever, worth a shot. For the time being, though, they need support against these guys. Up until they can get trajectory going, they're gonna have a real hard time. Which, actually, I really like how this is set up. Why he didn't set it up as, like, a 3 or a 5. Because it makes perfect sense. They're trained to judge trajectory, and usually... even in like modern type situations, you still see situations where Like, they're accounting for missed shots just to be able to judge trajectory, so... In this case, you know, works out perfectly. Nice little reference. That applies to a lot of things! Okay, no trajectory for you. Yeah, we'll have you move slow. Moving a little bit slow. So yeah, once you start getting into Dark Knights and things like that, they come in with extra stats. So they're going to be a bit better than pretty much everybody else. They're going to be better than your generics. They're going to be better than most other characters. And they've got a lot of cool stuff going for them. And same rule applies with Andoris as with everybody else, in which you definitely don't want to go attacking the guy up until you can pinch him. I think it's... Is it Fatal Fury? I don't know. What's a skill? Yeah, I think it might be Fatal Fury. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, resets RT. And it's a lightning move, so that sounds like him. Mr. Lightning Hands himself. I think I'm gonna have to start referring to him as Lightning Hands. His Lightning Hands Andoris. Alright, Mr. Man, please finish off this dragon. Thank you very much. Yeah, those heavy two-handers are pretty great. Alright, start pelting at this dragon. That's fine. That's fine. We'll judge trajectory on our next turn. Feels about accurate to say there. Alright. Oh, right. Your siege belt. There we go. So she'll start working on that one, and those two should be able to walk up and finish it off. Ninjas will probably take a few little bites out of it. Then they can move on to their task, and everybody can just continue with the mopping. So trajectory up. Lots of trajectory! Perfect. And now, while they're on their way, they're going to have, more than likely, they're going to have a turn where they can't take a shot. So what I'm going to do, actually... can you put a peck on him? There we go. I should have trajectoried first. Whatever. So trajectory. So she's going to put that up. The last one's going to put trajectory, and she's going to put silence on her bow. The nice thing about buffs is that just like Dark Souls or something like that, you basically buff all of your current weapons. So it's nice and... Oh, crap. I forgot to buy the items. Way to go, brain. Alright, whatever. Let's just take a snipe. Doesn't matter if it hits or not. She's got her trajectory. Alright, that's fine. They'll still be able to do their job. They're probably getting real pissed off with my management about that right now, though. It's like, Jesus, they just keep sending us out without any tools. Like, go over there and poison them. I'm like, I don't have any poison. What do I do? Like, just, I don't know, let some meat rot over the course of a week and slap them with a rotten steak. What else are you gonna do? Man. So, the archers are probably my favorite for that animation right there. It's like they're just there in the rain like, yeah, I can do it! I can do it 9 times. And they just suddenly hit everything. They're just cheering themselves on. I can do it! That makes me think of Trolls. Like the super happy chick. They just believe and they can do it. That being said, I've mentioned it several times before. But even though... Okay, so it's funny because they recently put out another season of it, and I know, we're going again with the reviewing kids shows. But, okay, so they put out another season of the thing. And I have to say, I gotta respect the fact that despite the fact that it's a kid show, the kids will more than likely never even get what's going on half the time there. They actually followed through on all their little dangling thread line, like all their plot lines and everything. They actually friggin' did it. Like, they went back to all the little unresolved issues and everything else. Like, it's funny, because even, like, there's a moment, I think, in, like, second, third, whatever season. It's hard to keep track on that one. One of the earlier seasons in which there's the standard old situation of, like, oh, yeah, you know, girl likes this guy or whatever else. It's like, oh, you know, she gets all angry and everything at him, despite the fact that they both have a crush on each other kind of thing. You know, one of those. And so, you know, at the very end, you know, it seems like everything's gonna work out and everything, and then she suddenly starts yelling at him and runs off. And so even my wife was seeing that, and she just did like an "oh" kind of thing as soon as that happened. Like, but they're supposed to be a couple there. It was supposed to be a thing. And then, weirdly enough, of all the things, they brought that back. And just suddenly everything worked out, and what I am assuming has to be their last season or something if they're wrapping up plot lines. Like, not a kid's show. They wanted to give them kids some closure. But, I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious. Like, just... It's more effort than one would expect, you know? Just had to respect that. Alright. We're getting whopped real hard over there. As you do. Dodge! Thank you. Thank you, guy with ridiculously high luck, who never seems to dodge those 25%. Alright. Whoops. Oh, nice. Nice! I kind of wonder if this is like XCOM 2, where if you roll a crit, you automatically hit regardless of whether or not you would have actually hit in the first place. That might explain some things, actually. Because I do have to say, they have been hitting a lot of really unlikely shots. I don't know. I can't say that we really parsed too much new info out of all this. I was expecting to figure out all these new tricks and everything else, and figure out all this like bizarre broken machinery behind everything. It hasn't quite happened. It's mostly like, hey, everybody's a little bit luckier. It's like those items do what they say. And so they did. No! Rude. Alright. Let's get Mr. Reeve out of here. Always feels like whenever I have one of these dark shirts on, I always kind of feel like I'm supposed to be wearing some sunglasses or something. Actually, whatever. I still got some from earlier. Let's go all Matrix with it. So there we go. There we go. I'm looking like a proper douchebag. Yeah, no. That'd be funny. That'd be funny. And then there's like the shine of a lamp right there. Whatever, let me know. And then there's gonna be that one guy that shows up in the comments later, like, no, do all of them in sunglasses. And then just be like, just all worried. He's like, no. But then I think Pan would think I'm like copying him or something, or making fun of him or something. Like, that's his thing. He wears the sunglasses all the time. Actually, a lot of people wear sunglasses all the time. I don't know. Let's see, how bright is it out there? Alright, you know what? Snow's melted, sunglasses justified. Moving forward. That doesn't look too bad, eh? Can you see what's all shiny? I don't know. It looks all shiny. Man, this is weird. This feels really weird. Because I can't see jack right now. It's almost like this is just not a very good way to see things while indoors. It does feel like I'm in the Matrix, though, so that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I think it's worth it. until I go all friggin' blind, because like, I can't actually see stuff right now. Not too well, anyway. Like, having to squint on just about dang near everything. I don't know. I liking this music, though. It's funny, it kind of sounds like there should be a cavalry charge or something during all this. You'd think so. But there's never any cavalry. Kind of makes you wonder if they actually had planned to include cavalry with all these dragons and everything at some point. Like, you just have all your knights ride in on dragons. I mean, you could do that in March of the Black Queen, so why not in this? I guess it's less implied than directly said, but it totally seemed to me like they were flying in on griffins. Like, I'm pretty sure every speedrun out there, unless they figured out some other way, they involved this, just pretty much an entire team sitting on top of a griffin, presumably doing some kind of circus clown car situation. Something like that. Oh man, Voltaire's really just tearing it up. Like it. That is exactly why you want your like bash preamps, no matter what version you're playing. It's also probably why they made Swordmasters kind of suck in vanilla. Just because they could do that kind of shenaniganry. Alright, that's gonna do Pesol. Good, good. Continue your harassment. Spear guy being all clever over there, like, yeah, you can't preempt with what's 2 tiles away. What you gonna do now? Where's your friggin' parry god now? There we go. Preempt. Well, if we snipe him, that puts him into finisher range. Yeah, no, we don't want to go for him. What about this one? 110. You can put one on him, though. There we go. Anything that prevents him from moving. His archers have a pretty high per tile cost. Kind of looks like I'm all angry or something now. Can look all serious. Not enough bullet dodging to justify these sunglasses, I feel. What's funny is I actually did have like proper like Hugo weaving sunglasses at some point. Like years ago. I was at this garage sale, and they were just selling them like 50 cents each. I was like, yeah, I gotta pick up a ton of these. So I just bought an entire box. That was great. Those things really suck, though. Like, they didn't last whatsoever. Just that you got the slightest scratch on them and they just exploded. It was really unfortunate, actually. It was rather unfortunate. Alright, keep planking on Mr. Philippe over here. Man, I feel bad about picking on Philippe over here. This is my, in my vanilla Iron Man run right now, I've got 2 Philippes. One of them's just Philippe the Swordsman, the other one's Philippe the Dragoon. And I just saw both of them, and it's funny because Philippe the Swordsman recruited Philippe the Dragoon. Just like, I needed another crossbow, there was one Philippe there, and my other Philippe always has recruit on him, because I just like to think he's like the, like, gentleman fencer guy, so went ahead and had him do that. And then we wound up with multiple Philippes, and then I was thinking there can only be one, so they have to fight it out. So I had him going and basically dueling on the edge of a cliff. And, yeah, then the one guy with the two-hander kept dodging, so I was like, screw it, I'll just give him a crossbow then. Apparently he doesn't need a weapon to defend himself. At least not a melee one. And so it was. Shunk. Yeah, this is definitely starting to hurt my eyes. Definitely. Take a few pecks and endures. Now, the nice thing is, because his casting skills are better, he'll typically end up going for the cast instead of going for melee now. Which actually, he did that in the original lot too, even if he only did 1 damage. Which was a disturbingly frequent thing. As for this guy that was supposed to be an ultimate threat, he just... like, he could take some hits, but by and large, he really couldn't dish it out unless he was throwing finishers out there. But what I was trying to get at there is, yeah, he typically doesn't build his TP up very well. So, yeah. Alright, yeah, no. Pen, I don't know how you do it, man. That hurts. MS hurts. Just no. Alright. I can see again. Can you land this? No. He's gonna put himself in a dangerous spot, but he might be able to set this cleric up. So if he crits one or, like, maybe the second one here. Yeah, there we go, perfect. He should put them within 2-shot range. Yeah, I think that should be about 2-shot range for the others. For the ninja squad. Do it. Dodge! Dodge, 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 dodge! Oh, dang it. Dang it! That punch damage, though. Also, his TP is way up there now. So I'm probably going to sacrifice Vice to go... sacrifice, if you will. So I'm going to go put Vice up there. Dang it, didn't make it on time. Alright, that's fine. That should... yeah, basic heal. If all 3 hit her, that should be fine. Is this guy threatening us at all? Or this lady? Sorry. Alright. Let's move you up. Alright, that's out of range. You're not. So I think, yeah, if we do a double shot from her, and if one of them crits, then we should be able to do a tremendous from the other one and finish them off. Okay, yeah, no, they're out of range. Yeah, perfect. 3 shots. Oh, 2 shots actually. Go for the double. And we've got 1 backup shot from the archer in the back. The second archer with a feather in her cap. Oh, so it was cool. So for Easter, I had taken my daughter to this Easter egg hunt that we had over here. Gotta say, definitely more people than eggs there. Like they had all the all the kids run out. They had all the parents stay. So there's this obvious worry of like, okay, my toddler's gonna get trampled by all the other kids there. But the funny part was, hang on, go for it. There we go. Oh no, he can't. Bummer, because he's out of range. Anyway, so it was apparently the windiest friggin' day in the universe. So we went over there. The entire way, it's like windy to the point that it's like trying to knock you off your feet. Cold as crap. It's like a bunch of parents just sitting there, kind of all disgruntled, like, "Oh, what exactly did we come here for?" Because it's just like clearly there's maybe 1 egg to every 2 kids or something. So like my daughter got lucky because she ended up just sneaking away one of those times. It was like grabs one right from the very front because it was just right next to the line. They tried to get her to put it back. And then all the other parents are like, "No, we're probably not getting any. Just keep it." It's like nobody's gonna be able to get anything here. And then sure enough, she ended up finding another one later. But it was just this massive mosh pit of toddlers. Like it just of all the things, I don't know. They spent I'd say about 20 times more time advertising the church that sponsored the whole thing than it actually. Well, actually no, like 200 times more actually. Because the entire thing, despite the fact that everybody was there waiting for like half an hour, lasted literally 2 seconds. So yeah. Wonder if anybody else had any counter Easter egg hunts that maybe were a little bit more successful. Because that was surprisingly weird. I forget what I was actually trying to get out with the story in the first place. But it was cold. It felt like a dang tornado. And such was life. Any dang ways. Should be one more arrow or one more vice on Endorus. Hi, Endorus. Bye, Endorus. You gotta believe in that luck. Yep. He has done his duty here. And away we go. Yay, a bunch of stuff. And courtesy of level slingshotting, we are perfectly good on our levels. Alright, so we're missing 4 vests, but aside from that, we're all good here. Alright, so this one's going to be a bit of a challenge, though. I should have gone back and bought them tools. Yeah, I really should have. Alright, see what we run into. So, Tar Castle is always fun. Always, always, always. Now, because of our party makeout, I'm actually not going to do my usual thing. In fact, we're actually just going to go straight for the middle. Because normally, if they're at least somewhat sturdy, I like to run half the party down the middle and half through the bridges. In this case, what I'm going to do is basically just try to run them over here, then kind of run them at a diagonal, so that they end up leaving, hopefully leaving a golem over here, and then just kind of shuffling on this way, and then I want the archers to all go that way. That's the plan for now, anyway. We'll see how far that falls off the mark. It's possible I can probably just sneak the ninjas around that way and start harassing the casters. But these guys' casters are pretty well protected. We've got a really, they got a good bunch of pretty accurate snipers and things like that. Alright, this should be fine. Let's make use of that long range. Yeah, so until they get close, I'm gonna go take some pretty long-range shots just for the hell of it. Just to make sure that it's all out there. Okay. Nice thing about these golems here is that you usually don't have to worry about any kind of long-range stuff out of them. They can be kited very effectively. If they're in your way, they're a definite problem, but they're pretty lumbering otherwise. Okay. Yeah, so 2 sword masters down that way. Two kind of hugging the wall, as it were. There we go. Want to try not to take any tar tiles because it screws up their accuracy. Alright, yeah, with the ninjas, we'll just see what we can do. We will see. Like, if they all tag team one caster, they can get them. But more than likely, it's gonna take more than that. In fact, rather than splitting... You know what? I think rather than splitting them up... I might leave that left side of archers where they are, and let Felicia run in and buff them all. Actually, no. We're going to move them here. I'm going to pile up on this end. They can continue piling on that golem. Building up their TP. Unless they can take shots at this. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. It's not going to do anything. I need heavier stuff against that. Yeah, even that's only going to do 50. Keep on piling! See, because the golem will keep moving forward. The healer will automatically follow whoever it wants to follow there. Let's see. Let's have you attack, because you're probably the best attacker. Good. Right here, a knight variant. So we'll have him preempt, because this guy's probably just going to attack. Alright, we'll pull you back and buff all these archers. So yeah, we'll start on the left. I know that I missed the 2 longbows, that's fine. Interestingly enough, this one didn't actually... Weird. Wonder why it doesn't have counter. Yeah, we're starting in a bit of a bad position here. Because yeah, the DKs... Like, there's two aspects to this right now. There's the fact that a lot of them are coming in with rings, especially the tankier ones coming in with bigger rings. And then you've got the other aspect of, well, aside from the other aspect of we've got really low-powered weapons for the most part. And the other aspect... Another aspect where I just completely lose my train of thought. That's what it is. You know, it's that one. It's good. It's fine. There we go. Oh yeah, the other aspect being the DKs just in general have higher stats. So they're going to be a bit sturdier and a little bit stronger. Because, you know, they're like the elite of the elite. That's supposed to be the point. And that was always kind of the misleading thing in the base game. So they're like, these are the strongest dudes ever. They're taking over everything. And every time that they introduced any faction as like unstoppable, they were extraordinarily stoppable. Like, especially the so the Dark Knights, obviously, because they didn't have any real bonuses to them, they just all kind of looked scary, I guess. And then aside from that, which, okay, like you could say it's their sheer numbers, but they don't typically have overwhelming numbers either. Like, I think the scariest fight against them is like 22 v 12, which is really not that bad. If it was something like 30 v 12, like, okay, you know, it's still a bit different. But rarely, if ever, aside from maybe the Hanged Gardens, do you get the sense that their numbers are actually completely overwhelming. But then the same thing happens with Branton up in the north there. Because yeah, they keep going on and on. I'm like, oh, you know, this guy just took over everything. What a bastard. And then you finally fight him, and his entire team's like just Terror Knights. Which, okay, here's the thing though, in the mod that works. Because like he's got all these guys and they all form up and they try to look all intimidating and everything. And then, like, in the original, it was just like, psh, just like, get out of my way kind of thing. Like, what the hell is this tissue paper you have guarding you? Like, I'll never forget, there was one particular moment, after weeks of when the mod had, when I'd first figured out about the mod and all that, and at that point, the Vita wasn't moddable yet. So I was always playing the vanilla version on there. And so I played the mod for a while and was really liking it and was doing some other stuff on the Vita for a while. Then finally, I think it was just after I finished that first evaluation run, and, you know, was really loving it. And then I go back and, you know, just turned on vanilla again. And it was specifically that Branton fight. It was like, I'd saved right before that. And I just remember thinking, like, man, what are these? What happened? I didn't really, like, I knew that they sucked, but I didn't realize they sucked this much. It's like, I don't remember it being that bad. They're providing absolutely no resistance. It's like you might get more actual resistance from just a slightly old pillow. It'll at least bounce back a little bit. It's like the majority of their damage is like 60 from a Sonic Blade or something. What happened? Why are you so non-threatening? But then you see a bunch of guides, and like you could tell like which ones had metagamed it super hard and which ones didn't. Because like usually the folks that weren't really into like getting into every single little detail to try to like min-max a character to their ultimate like Magikarp potential. It's just it's like every time there was one of those, it was the same opinion of like, man, these units just aren't very good. but then you'd see some folks every now and then. They're like, yeah, they're very, very good. Like all you gotta do is you gotta go over here. You gotta go pick up the Dark Headsman. You gotta go pick up the entire Shadow set. You gotta go pick up this Dark Necklace over here. Then you gotta go train him as like a wizard. And then you gotta train him as a warlock. And then you gotta train him as a lich. And then you gotta train him as a necromancer. And then after all that, they've got like 20% chance to hit Paralytic Wave. Yeah, that seems like a bit too much effort. It's like they'll do a whole 5 damage with Drain Health. Oh, it's beautiful. It's just so beautiful how bad they were. It's like, it's funny because it's like they were always that one where if you maxed out all their stats or did something ridiculous to them like that, they could be good-ish, but the argument was always just, like, their ultimate potential is worse, their current potential is worse, why bother? Like, aside from a challenge run, which actually I was considering doing at some point, by the way. So I was kind of curious to do... Okay, so I mentioned I accidentally deleted the other, like, One-Eyed Night Slayer run that I was doing. Specifically the Iron Man of that. Now, here's the thing. Going through and metagaming it, it's just kind of a foregone conclusion. It's just really after a while, if you've got your A team, you've got, you know, you've trained everybody as archers, you've trained everybody as everything else, you've got like 4 archers, 4 ninjas, like maybe the rest is necromancers or something. Like, but by the end game, you'd usually probably circle around and get whatever team you'd want. So, like, personally, that would be the team I'd, you know, probably want. It's like maybe like 2 ninjas, 2 dragoons, 4 archers, and then just like 4 necromancers. Just to make things simpler, because for the purposes of an Iron Man run, there's a lot of stuff that you kind of want to account for, and specifically one of them is the fact that you'll need to exercise stuff. We need a double shot. Man, why is it so dry? Why does it gotta be so dry? Come on, crit, 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 crit! You champion! Awesome. Awesome. But yeah. It's like, it would be funny to just do a run where it's like, just Terror Knights, Fusiliers, and, well, like rogues or something. Just like, it's like 3 or 4 classes just that would have no chance to make it. Just like the complete underdog run. I think it'd be interesting. So yeah, if you have any ideas on which ones you'd like to see on that, let me know. And it would be 11 slots because the songstress is automatically included. She's just on there for being uniquely bad. Just uniquely bad. Alright. Let's get rid of these casters. Oh, whoops. I made a whoops. I meant to have her shut down that archer back there. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. You can do it. Do it just fine. Alright. That's helpful. Alright, let's see if you can get a stun off here. Should be able to do a Tremor Dance. Yeah, those odds are great. Them's are pretty great. Beautiful. There we go. Alright, so we finish off one. The other one we can probably pick off from a distance for the time being. Where are your war dances? Why do I not have war dances on you? Alright, whatever. Moving on, just go that way then. Yep, finish him, please. And then put this healer to sleep. There we are. Shame. Ah, shame, shame, shame. Alright, can you put this one to sleep? Perfect. Alright, so healing's gone for now. No, I screwed up. Meant to do a double shot right there. Start pecking away at this guy. But I did it wrong. And I'm sorry. But it's alright. We'll just move on. Sometimes you gotta do it wrong. Schwank. See, he would have been dead right there. Would have been dead. Instead, he'll be dead right here unless I can snipe this one, which is a way better idea. Okay, we'll do that. Because even in the best case scenario, it seems like he's got about 25% chance, even on his Lariat. I'm hoping once, yeah, once the levels are redone, hopefully they'll come in with some better stuff. Or once Chapter 4 is redone. Let's see, Rampart, Grand Fist, Lariat Bash. Yeah, because he needs like Anatomy and probably Instill Earth or Augment Earth, that kind of thing. Like, it wouldn't matter that much because we'd end up beating it anyway, but you know, would give a little bit of extra, survivability of the guy. So now I can have all the sword guys go up. Stealing my loot. I need that loot to pay the bills, dude. It's just rude. All right. Put you there. Put you to sleep. Yeah, I feel like Tyrannico needs one less range. It's really, really like abusable at this point. Man, it's fun to have it have so much range, though. I think it gave it so much because there's very few abilities that actually have that much range now. Yeah, let's go harvest. And harass this one. Hopefully give this one a nap. Nap, please. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. Now let's pop you here, and that should put you perfectly within range. Yes, yes. Would have preferred if you went all fancy with it and crit them straight off the wall. But oh well. I guess we just can't have fun things. Alright. Snipe you. Yes. Yes. Alright, you can double shot that one down. As long as the first one doesn't crit, we are golden. And it's gonna crit. Oh, good. Okay. Goodbye, Archer. Thank you for taking a nap. Alright, what can we do for this one? Can you nail him? Sure can. Can double nail him. And we're alright. So yeah, I'm excited for the experience rebalance. I don't know when or how he's going to be able to do it, but that'll completely change the game on these things. Because if you can have everybody gaining experience, like you can make sure to level specific classes up. You can make sure not to get over leveled. Like it sounds like he was going to drastically increase the overall experience rate, but then make it so that you are getting extra per class or per individual unit or something like that. Because basically the way it is right now is just if you're running 3 classes, you can wind up about 5 levels ahead throughout the entire run, which in the original would just put you ahead permanently. In the mod, it doesn't matter that much right now, but it still gives you a slight edge. So it'd be kind of cool if that happens. Not that I'm against having advantages. I'm just saying that would be neat. Okay, should probably have them start using their sickles more. Just because I really want to get Darkblade. It's like once we get to Dorgy at the very end there, we're definitely going to want to have Darkblade. Alright, stun, please. Oh. Or don't, fine, I didn't want you to hit anyway. It's like 15% chance, I think. Something like that. Okay. Finish Archer, please. Archer go dead! Yay! Archer go dead. Fantastic! What splendiferous news. Alright. Get that one, or don't, you know, that's fine, it's okay, don't worry about it. I'm not angry at all. I'm actually not. It's not a problem. We've already got this. We're not on any countdown timers or anything yet, so... whatever. Alright, birdies, so here's your choice. You could either do the obvious and, you know, fly up there and pretty much stay up there permanently, and there's pretty much jack that we could do. Or, you know, and here's the other option, you can just kind of sit there and do nothing. And, you know what, I'm going to be completely okay with that. I think I'd be okay with you just kind of sitting there. So after this fight, we got Chunky Boy fight. Pretty quick one. After that, we got the staircase, which that one depends. That one really depends. Like if you get Lance actually spawning in with his correct kill set, then you have a problem, because then he's actually threatening. But if the normal happens and he just spawns in like, oh yeah, I know a lot about two-handed swords. Look at this one-handed one that I got. Which I mean, maybe at some point they were thinking they'd have those two carry over. That would have been pretty cool. Like, maybe you only get a damage bonus with one, but you can use the skills from either. That would have been really cool, in my opinion. Actually, oh man, that would have been real cool if, like, you could use your spear skills with a sword, but they would be worse. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I mean, they were kind of going for that whole everything is collective and all their experience from everything creates this unit, except then some of the skills and things didn't really do anything. Oh well, oh well. Alright. That's enough of that. Moving on. You go here. You go here, though you'll likely not be able to do anything anymore. Poor unfortunate birdie. I mean, you can't just surrender, there's always that option. I know we're not exactly extending that option terribly well right now. But, I mean, you just kind of got to read between the lines. Somewhere between the throwing rocks and arrows, we're trying to ask you to just give up, is the thing. I mean, I know it's hard to get into those little details. But, you know, I'm sure you can figure it out. Seem like a smart birdie. Well, at least you did. Now you seem like you're not exactly there anymore. Because you got instantly vaporized. Do-de-do. Alright, Ring of Finesse. We're not going to use that, though. Alright. So, now we get the Massive Man thinks gun is scary. Except we won't see that cutscene. Alright, so here's what we're doing. Pulling everybody back, and then I'm just holding down fast forward until we're done here. They're going to fire arrows, they're going to do all kinds of stuff, they're going to cast. And they're going to have an absolute crap ton of turns. And I want them to waste a little bit of their healing here, so I'm going to go throw that out there. This means the healer's going to do 145. If all goes well, this should mean that they can't do a bunch of heal 3s later. There we go. So that one will hopefully stay back there now. Hold the line! It's like I am. But they've been on hold for 3 hours. They're getting upset. There we go. That's a good Barbas. So we should only need to deal with his 3 frontliners. So we've got a TK and 2 warrior variants. Or 2 TKs in this case. That's fine. That's why these guys were put off to the side, so they try to get close. Alright, pretty much rip that guy. Dead. Perfect. So he's out of the way now. Alright. So now we just launch a bunch of arrows at this one, then they're gone, and then we should only have one knight coming down. Which we then similarly punch several holes into. And yeah, then Barbas will come down, and hopefully we can get him enough times that he isn't too much of a threat. If he gets usually he still ends up getting a single attack off. Perfect. And because they've got 2 very good healers, you typically just want to let them come towards you. Like, honestly, don't even bother attacking until they're off of the wall. Because at any point they can just say, yeah, screw it, I'm just going to go run now. And then they'll use an item on themselves, the healer will heal them up, and all of that effort will have been for nothing. Alright, come on. So I'm going to take a few easy pecks at these guys. There we go. Now with this out of the way, if this one falls asleep... Ah, that's a shame. I was going to say, if they fell asleep, then they would more than likely try to heal the sleep rather than anything else. Alright, whatever, you just wait in place. And fast forward. Okay, a little bit of dancing. So we're going to buff everybody up, then we're going to do a big ol' heal. Then we're probably going to want to do the anti-debuff one. There we go. One of these days I'll remember to give him his war dances. Today, though, is not that day. And just to tempt them to come down a little bit, we're going to do this. Give Felicia a bit of preempt. She's going to turn around, and they're going to be like, man, that looks like what we should aim for. And then they do. And it doesn't end well for them, shockingly enough. Alright. Get wrecked. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you expect anything different? Because you were wrong. Because that's what we use her for. Dead. You tried. It's okay. You tried. It's gold star for effort. There's like the thing, she's just there, just like every single time she's going and like counter crushing somebody like this, just like pulls out a little gold star off a bag, is like, here. You tried. Looking up. Okay. Either way, with these two down, I mean, they're gonna be in a sec. They've already used both their healers. They've got some casters coming in, but they're not even gonna get close by the time we're done here. It's gonna take 2 turns from everybody to put down Barbas. So he'll probably whomp, and then he'll probably get close. Yeah, 1 more round. I think he might actually follow a set pattern. Because he tends to, like, he goes a couple different ways, but he seems to go the same kind of overall route to try to get to where you start. See, that would have been a great time for a crit there, Vice. Knew I should have trajectoried. Dang it. Let's go ahead and dance a little bit. There we are. That's both Knights gone, both TK's gone. Barbas is now their front line. So, I've been trying to figure out how exactly the AI functions for a good long while now. Best I can come up with is just kind of a theory that maybe, like, as far as all their melee characters, they're always going to have certain characters marked as melee. Those are usually going to be your frontliners. They've got some marked as Vanguard, which I'm pretty sure Barbas is, because he'll follow along the middle of the melee line. And then you've got ranged and casters and healers and stuff all behind that, and then you've got rear guard, which will only be able to take an action every other turn, and will always seem to stay as far away as possible. Although, they're still occasionally inconsistent for seemingly no reason. Like, sometimes they'll just do something completely random. Like, for example, a lot of cases they'll go and they'll, like, start activating a skill, but then never actually use it. Okay, so we're gonna go preempt. Let's see... Yeah, let's go resilient here. Just in case Barbas decides to become really evasive this time. We'll see. Come on, Bar Boy. Get your chunky butt down here. Perfect. So she actually rolled a deflect on that one. Big question, though, is will anybody show up before the stream is over? Probably not. It's always the afternoon. It's always pretty quiet in the afternoon. Alright. You wait. Need to pull one of the Swordmasters back, do a little bit of healing. You wait. You don't have your dances. I'm going to put him right here in case we can tempt Barbas to run down the center. Hi there, Karzu Sozen. Only difficult run you see is no Archer Ninja run. Well, that depends. With the original game, sure. With One Vision, they are nerfed quite a bit, which is why I was doing this run. Actually, a lot of folks, had said, okay, archers and ninjas are basically useless, swordmasters are basically useless because they can't outright kill everything. And so, long story short, that was one of the things that originally started what was kind of the quote-unquote Asia percent run, which I then changed to luck percent run. Because a lot of people were mentioning three things when discussing the mod. They complained that archers were nerfed too hard, since they typically will plink off armor. So like right here against Barbas here, you can see it'll do pretty much nothing. Have you? Oh man, awesome! So you haven't played the mod, right? Oh, dude. Okay, hit !1 vision. It's right there. So I have a guide written on the whole thing. It's a mod. It's like, okay, so it is a mod that is completely overhauled every part of the game. Like, it just, everything. Every single thing. At first, it may sound like a hard mode. It's not. It's like, it's basically, it consistently balances the entire thing, to the point where all weapons are useless, all skills are wait, did I just say useless? No. All classes are useful, all weapons are useful, all gear has a purpose. There's like uniformity to how stuff works. There's an attempt to curb a lot of that grind aspect and stuff like that from the original. So that's the mod. If you hit, I think it's !guide. That's where I have the guide for it, or it's just nishgames.com or nish-games.com. And I have like an entire starter's guide and stuff like that over there. But yeah, so it's really fun. Everything's rebalanced, everything's redone, and so yeah, like it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Like the fact that this guy has been working on this thing for years and still continues to put all this stuff out there, like still updating regularly and stuff like that. It's amazing. It's just truly impressive. Because you have to consider even to actually update all the formations and skills and stuff like that. So like as far as unfinished stuff, updating skills and stuff like that is still skills on enemy characters is still underway because all the like the boring buff stuff and whatever got removed. So like all of your strengthens and dodges and things like that. But as kind of a counter to that, all your equipment matters more. So previously the tank build was like Constitution, Fortify, Ring of Vigor, a shield, and whatever basic armor was around at the time. Whereas now it's like heavy plate, a helmet, a heavy shield. That's your tank right there. You know, you look at the gear and it's like, oh, the guy with the heavy gear is the tank. Not like, hang on, let me go check their skill list to see if they're like focusing on beefing their pecs hard enough. So that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do basically I do runs of this mod all the time for the purposes of testing and showing it off and stuff like that. And for the sake of disclaimer, because it seems to come up pretty often, I didn't make the thing. I'm just a really huge fan. So there we go. That out of the way. You know, if you have any questions, go nuts, because again, like I think I probably aside from rakes, I think I probably know most of the things about the mod. I should hope so. Kind of wrote a guide, or at least I've been around testing it the longest. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Like there's so much good stuff in there. Like it's kind of a miracle that it even exists. Because bear in mind, the guy doing it, he's making it with a hex editor. He's literally going like line by frickin' line in the code, and like figuring out what every single number does, tweaking every single number. So the mod was actually created. Just kind of reshuffling what was already there. So there was a functional armor system in the game, but it almost never got utilized because it never really went above like 15%. So for example, with a lot of the armors now, like I'll show you in just a sec, because you know we'll be getting out of this map. Like the easiest way to show it is probably the armor system. Let's go ahead and speed this up. Bear in mind this visual jank, by the way, that's my emulator. It runs perfectly fine on phones, PPSSPP, and like PSP and Vita. So if you put it on original hardware, it works just fine. I personally go and test every single version to make sure that they all function. Like, okay, so original Damask Vest, right? You basically just had some defense, a smattering of different random stats all over the place. You had some negatives here, some here. And it was always like 1 to 5 of just some random stat, right? So on paper, it's nice because like, oh look, you know, it's slightly better at this, or maybe it slightly encumbers their fingers, so their dexterity is worse. Or okay, that's fine, but those numbers never really like did anything, and it caused a lot of armor to mostly be judged by its defense and its weight, which tended to go up to the point where just getting your vigor up through any means necessary was actually better than wearing armor. Any dang way. So like right now you see like vests. All the archers are limited to like vests, arm guards, lighter arm guards rather, some leggings, some headgear. So like for example, they can equip circlets, which will improve their agility, so their accuracy, and their mind for their resistance. But they can't equip helmets, which are for the heavier folks. You got your guards here, so they can equip lighter guards. I don't have that many things on this because this was kind of a pseudo speedrun of sorts. You got all kinds of different leggings and things like that. With the bows, you got like different type of bows and everything. It's like right here, I have 3 characters running longbows, which basically function like the original game's war bows. Armor, like typically arrows will bounce off of heavier armor. Then you got like siege bows right here with a longer range and better vertical forgiveness, but worse accuracy, and they're a lot slower to use. Not to mention they have different kind of projectiles that they fire. But what I was getting at earlier is right here. So you had all these numbers over here, and if you've never played the original, or sorry, if you've never gotten into like the super nitty-gritty of the original, all of these are percentages removed from a certain bonus type. So for example, like this thing, basically the way the bonuses work, the primary attack score gets past the primary defense score wherever they wound up. It's like stats boost that primary attack score, which then comes up with a number. That number then scales up based off of their weapon skill and off of their bonus stats, which was this number right here. So like base game bows, the reason that they were so strong is because they had a pretty decent attack score, not to mention dex scaled really well with them. Plus they had a hidden bonus in the background, plus they forgot about that hidden bonus seemingly, and then just basically decided, okay, we want to make sure that these things do damage when they actually get through, but then, you know, they shouldn't get through armor, which is what they do in the early game. But then by late game, they're getting like 30% bonus damage just off flat stats alone. It's like 15% elemental, plus that scales up with whatever elemental augment they had, plus it scales up with their bow skill, plus it scales up with anatomy. Like, they just finally wind up like, okay, they're doing hundreds of damage with no issues whatsoever. And so there was a lot of stuff like that where they tried really hard to get all the little details, but, you know, stuff got missed, so... Anyway, the mod kind of makes everything a bit more uniform to make it a bit more, you know, understandable and stuff like that. It's just there's a lot of really good changes. So stuff, for example, like skills that were always necessary, so like your buffs and your, like for example, your strength and fortify, swiftfoot and all that, those are gone. They're either built in or they're put into equipment. So all of your skill slots can be used for stuff you actually want. There's a lot of cool little changes, like for example, trajectory was previously useless before. Now in version 93 Alpha, which by the way, if you go to, here, you know what, I'll just type it in. I'll just type it in, dang it. I think it's, do I have it on here? I keep forgetting to update that. Hang on. Anyway, so if you just go to Tactics Ogre, the guide, on that link, it has a link to the Alpha, which is the latest version. Which actually even added new classes and things like that. But like, for example, one of the things that one added is right here with trajectory. See, I wish there was a mod like this for the SNES Tactics Ogre. There is, and it's actually old as hell. However, it's only in Japanese. If you, I think it's ! Chronicle Valeria for that one. Actually, hang on, I think I just have the link to it here somewhere. But yeah, if you happen to speak Japanese or understand Japanese, yeah, Chronicle Valeria is pretty awesome. It actually wouldn't be possible to redo that particular mod. I just know that any actually, funnily enough, on that website I have a list with all the mods, all the different versions, all the different version differences, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so there we go. Let's go ahead and do some different stuff here. This may seem like a weird one, but I'm actually kind of considering... Nah, these guys don't have Umbra damage. Adds new classes? Kind of. Basically, there's two new classes, which add a unique class for gremlins and for pumpkinheads. So each one of the side beast characters has its own unique classes. Each of the different races has different stuff. So for example, like the lizard men are very similar to like the Bonga or whatever from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance and that kind of thing. Whereas like all the fairy classes would be similar to how the Muggles were in that one. The gremlins are like a darker version of all that. Previously, they mashed all of those into a mix of all kinds of similar things. So now they actually have unique like variants for each one of those. So each of the classes actually, or each of the different races feels different. Some of the weird stuff from before, like for example, how you had augment and attenuate. Both of them are just one skill now. Like everything that you wanted improved about the original, pretty much. All right, grand staircase time. Let's see how this works out. Like for example, the challenge run with this one is basically I'm just using a bunch of characters just stacked exclusively for luck. So we're just trying to get through the entire game using this, which has gone pretty alright so far. It's like, it seems harder at first, like the fact that you can't technically revive without sacrificing another unit. So like, for example, if a unit goes down, you have, instead of Blessing Stones for reviving them, you just have a Lifeline Stone, which will just evacuate them off the map. So they're down, they're out. It's closer to SNES, where if you lose a unit, you lost that unit. They don't lose a life if you evacuate them. If you like really need to revive them, like for example if Denim goes down, you instead can use Hellwing Stones, which will sacrifice whatever unit you have. They won't lose a life or anything. It'll just remove whatever unit is using it, and then bring the other one back to life. So, with few exceptions, like for example, Angel Knights can revive, or at least they can knock themselves out to revive multiple other units. With few exceptions, you're basically playing very similarly to SNES. A lot of the changes were made to be like a more balanced version of the SNES game. So a lot of stuff you may find very similar. So yeah. Oh, and as far as scavenging stuff goes, it sounds like it may be possible for him to make items that'll be possible to kind of remove lives from characters you're going to scavenge, so you don't have to sit there and wait it out forever. But yeah, the two new classes are just coming in the alpha version, though there are other classes planned. You have to understand that with this mod, everything has to have existed in the game in some function from the very start. So he can't reuse assets, and he can't change the fundamental function of a certain thing, but he can combine like bits and pieces all over the place to make it all work. So the fact that even the original game worked was a dang miracle. The fact that the mod works is just a miracle on top of that. So, like it shouldn't work, but it does. Let's just put it that way. But with how many different class changes there are, it really just feels like you're playing with an entirely new set of classes. So like Terror Knights, instead of being squishy paper dolls that carried around great swords, and basically just sat spamming Paralytic Wave all the time. Instead, they're actual tanks now. They can use proper armor, so they can properly defend themselves and that kind of thing. You get cases like, for example, if they see Rampart Shadows and things like that, they can actually detonate them for the equivalent of as if they had just attacked normally from that point. It's very awesome. Like it adds a lot of stuff. Like rogues, for example. Their traps are actually good now. You have unique sprites and all that for your semi-unique characters. Like for example, Sarah over here, who recently got a new look. Personally, I preferred the one in the last patch, but again, he's going to be taking a vote on that as far as who stays looking like what. So, that's kind of still up in the air. But yeah, any kind of feedback's fair game. Like he's been making it based off community feedback. I've been trying to do everything like that. Oh, like for example, one of the ones that I personally asked for very early on and was really glad to see is the fact that we got both one-handed and two-handed spears, as well as the option to extend them into pikes for those 2 to 3 range tiles. So, tons of new options. Anyway. Alright, sorry for the really long ramble. I just love to ramble on about this mod, because it's really good. Yeah, dude, this mod's amazing. It's really, really good. Otherwise, I never would have gone out of my way to make a dang site on it, make hundreds of videos on it. Like, it's really good. I love it. I know, now I sound like a nutcase. It's okay, it was over the course of a really long period of time. It's been almost like 2 years now, I think. Really? It's been that long? Maybe. It's a definite maybe. Something like that. Yeah, always covering new updates and stuff like that over here, so if you ever have any questions, like I said, there's no bad questions. It's all fair game. I still forgot to pick up tools. Actually, that's another thing. Characters that previously needed consumables usually just use MP now. Ninjas are the one exception because it's kind of there for flavor, since they would actually need the tools to use their abilities. Whereas, for example, draconic stuff instead, scales off of the weapon power of whoever's using it, which means that when you have something that you can do from Knight of Lotus, which is like a sword and board warlock, the fact they're basically scaling their damage off of their sword instead of their actual magic ability. So it means you can kind of have that interesting hybrid type situation. Like, actually, I think Warlocks are probably one of my favorite now, because they come with the ability to just throw items, just innately. So instead of the normal, just everybody gets to throw a rock thing, there's a bunch of side effects now. It's like, for example, Swordmasters have the same thing from KOL, where they can throw a rock and stun stuff. Or, like, ninjas get, well, I have these ones with bows right now, but with ninjas, like, they'll throw a poison shuriken, or or with necromancers, or with Ozma, stuff like that. They still have that like voice attack, the malediction thing, but it actually curses whoever it is. So they're actually cursing them out, which was kind of a funny joke. But yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It's like everything I ever wanted. And yes, for the sake of fairness, I go back and I play both versions all the time, but I really, really love this version. So like right there, that's why I keep two different types of bows. So like you have one bow that's better for fighting vertically, another one that's better for fighting downhill. You can have mixes of different ones, like they probably would have had a difficult shot using a normal bow there. Crossbows, you know, you can make them go up to 14 tiles, but they can only fire at one line, a la something like Vandal Hearts. There we go. So it's basically the Vandal Hearts crossbow. You got what else? Ninjas, for example, are really squishy. They don't have shields or anything else, but they can like use a free turn knockout move to put somebody to sleep. You know, while going and debuffing somebody else, or trying to, you know, go disable somebody with daggers. Pretty much all weapons have secondary effects. So like a dagger can hamstring somebody and leave them stuck to the ground. With swords, they can stagger somebody. With katanas and stuff like that, they're gonna take off part of their TP. Axes can, depending on which version you use, like they can break armor, or they can slow somebody down, or hammers can stun. Like, there's just so much good. So good. So good. Alright. Rant done, chilling out, having some water, my bad. But yeah. So, you know, 10 out of 10. It's pretty alright. Alright. So, Lands is getting real friendly with Chariot there. I think we'll probably just have to wipe the map with all of them. So as you can see, Swordmasters here in really, really tight quarters are completely wrecking face. Right. I think we'll disable the caster for now. He's going for a stun rock there, so let's put you to sleep. Take a nap. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, so previous ranked abilities, rather than going from like useless all the way to this day I was one on a Temple Knight, you kinda had one in the current version that's up there, so 92F. You can have one, kind of. Basically, Rudlum, well, by community request, was made into a weirdly colored Temple Knight for a while. Although, in the most recent patch, he was reverted back to normal, because apparently he's going to use that Temple Knight for, oh yeah, right. Okay, actually, no. Wait, ignore that. You know why? Because that same sprite that he was going to use, if you use a cheat for any class to be any, or any unit to be any class. Oh crap! I just put her. Okay, I almost made her put herself to sleep. Hang on. Pause for a sec. Okay, so in the original game, if you used any class on any character, if you used a generic character and you try to use a unique class on them, the game would just crash. So instead he gave a sprite to each of those unique characters. So for example, if you used that particular cheat, or if you used if you modified your game in whatever way, you could essentially just go and turn all of your characters into whatever unique characters you wanted. So what he was going to do is turn the Knight Commander into Templar. So yeah, you'll kind of sort of be able to have one. So we'll do. Actually, yeah, let's go move you up here. There we go. Get those heavy weapons on the heavier armor. But yeah, so I mean, technically speaking, the Temple Knights in this game, or the Templars, they're basically the same as any other class. You may be noticing right here, they've actually been given a bit of a new wardrobe to make them easier to tell apart. So, for example, your light blues are going to be your healers, your kind of navy blues are your sword masters, instead of them being super similar. So, ones that you want to know, like the like right there, that light blue guy is the healer. Like he's going to be very notably the healer. Green ones are the archers. I think they always were, but either way, they're a little bit easier to tell apart now. Okay, fine. You just go ahead and block my shots then. Alright. Can I rock you? Yes. Get rocked. Yeah, the ability to throw things is actually useful. Ah, there's so much good stuff. Wrecked. Alright. Let's see. I mean, I seriously could just go on and on and on. The overall, the simplified change list is like, I think it's like 100 or 80 something pages by this point, and that's just like line by line, broad strokes changes over how much stuff was done. Like everything got redone to be better. And anytime that there's feedback that, for example, you know, you stepped over a line here, you're here, getting too away from the lore of the original or something like that, he tends to go and adjust it. Like, he's been pretty staunch up to this point about, like, specifically not trampling on the lore at any point. The idea is that he's trying to make the game, you know, more immersive. It was basically built as an immersion mod. It started off as a finisher rebalance, and then just over the course of several years turned into this amazingness. So, there's also that. And there we go, let's put a little bit of hurt on that healer. Oh, I forgot to check if Lance actually came in with his proper skill set this time. We get to see Atropos? Yes! Okay, we get to see Atropos. I'm gonna let him use it one time just to show you. So, in the original game, and this is one of the things he's actually still getting towards, because up to this point only Chapter 1 has been redone for updating all of their skills and equipment and things like that. But one of the things he's actually changed as far as the characters themselves is for Lands, instead of having his, you know, Apocalypse finisher that just takes a life off someone, instead it's actually a scary move, and it's, you know, Atropos, so the same move from Knight of Lotus. Just because, yeah, I mean, he went through all that stuff, of course he was the guy that got that move. Why would you ever use her on anyone else? I mean, like, it's always either him or Ivana. Why would you pick anyone else? Okay. I know, I said the rant was done, and then I kept on ranting. Rant! Alright, let's get some Lion Dance going. You may notice abilities are about twice as good as they used to be. Pretty much every ability is good now. It's great. It's good stuff. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Now we're just gonna plink this guy a little bit. Because I want the healer to go for him instead of themselves. And then I'll have the third one go and try to knock him out. Perfect. Alright, please make your way around. Thank you. That one just daintily walks around him. He has the Knight of Lotus moveset. No, he just has, he has Atropos now. I mean, it still largely looks the same and it functions differently, but it's basically a move that petrifies in a huge area by sending down light beams. Like, it doesn't look the same because, again, he could only use effects that were already in the game. It's like Game of Thrones, yeah. I mean, that basically the game already was like Game of Thrones already. But it's just, he made so many changes that, yeah, it feels really, really good. Like, it feels... You can believe it more as a world. Let's put it that way. Alright, I'm going to put a few shots on him just to kind of show it off. Because if you didn't know, there's actually a bug in the original game in which he can occasionally spawn in with a two-hander moveset. Even though he comes in with a one-handed... Like, he's... okay, let's take a step back. Normally when a character spawns in, they have a list of items that they can... or rather, they have a kind of overall requirement. They'll pick things based off their stats and off their skills. So, for example, typically, if somebody comes in with a certain weapon skill set, they will just automatically use the strongest thing with some randomization of that particular category. Which is why when you see two weapon skills on one character, it's usually because they were trying to randomize it slightly so that they could pick either one of those two weapons, and then based off whatever was available at their level, they'd go and pick that. In his case, for whatever reason, he's forced to use a one-hander, but he has the option of coming in with a two-hander skill. It's unclear why, but it's just kind of there. Anyway, so we'll do that. There we go. He's almost definitely going to use Atropos now. Probably on those two right there. But yeah, everything's more overall, for lack of a better term, more realistic, but not with the intent of being like truly fully realistic, if that makes sense. Like the intent is just for it to be just more immersive, you know, just make the entire thing more believable. Like for example, the whole no revives thing. In the original, you know, your characters just died. In this one, they can do that too, but the thing was, there was no real revival, aside from those stones, which they had to be carrying, and they were expensive and rare and that kind of thing. In this one, you just get a bunch of them, like right off the bat. Like previously, you got one. You got one at the start of the game, and then the rest of them were up to you to buy with some very rare drops. Not to mention $2 grand was just not something you could spare most of the time. But then they did the remake, and it's like there's money flowing around all over the place. You basically get like 20 in the first chapter. Actually, no, it's like 12, I think, that you get in just the first chapter alone, and they just revive instead of anything else. So you just immediately bring them back. They don't even go anywhere. Not to mention, then you get what is essentially a free resurrection after a while. So it's like basically it got to the point where losing a character had no consequence. So that was again one of the points of making it so you can't really revive. You can evacuate your characters, and you can sacrifice one unit to bring another back, but there's that certain sense of, you know, a certain sense of, I guess, grounded reality that comes with it. Like here, Vice is knocked out, so if I go over here, if I do this, it'll essentially, like it says here, removes an ally from the field. You can't use it on Denna. So I'm just going to use this as an example because, I mean, I want him to get points because he's training right now, but there we go. So it just gets him out of here instead. So as Ray explained, it's just basically sending them off to the field medical tent or something like that. Just to go get patched up and get ready for the next fight. Alright, let's go double shot on this. I should point out, by the way, all of the post-game stuff like Coda and whatever else, due to the changes made, it's a lot more pleasant to go through now. So the level gates don't matter, or mostly don't matter. So just due to the fact that your characters are only gaining stats from cards and monster items as opposed to constantly gaining stats in the background, it's allowed for the actual classes themselves to be much stronger. Meaning, there we go. Like, just look at that. It's friggin' wrecked. So all the Knight Commanders have super moves. As they should, because they're supposed to be the best of the best. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Dead. Dang straight, you can't hold. Yep. And he's just gonna abandon you, so that's always fun. Alright. So with that done, that pretty much just leaves heading down to the southern end, doing one more castle fight, and then getting to the Hanging Gardens. So that'll be for Friday. Alright. And what would have been the sister? Yeah, I never did jack to you, lady. Bye. Yeah, she doesn't make it. It's fine. It's fine. This is one less medical bill to pay for her meds. Lady's crazy. No, but I'm like, seriously though, going through the sheer amount of crazy that comes out of Cashwa is a little bit disturbing. Now, just to make sure that we don't get the bad ending, because we're supposed to be doing the whole lucky thing, let's go over here. I forget if we need to activate Apocrypha first. I think we have to do... Yeah, I think we have to do Heim, and then we have to go down here to stop the tigers, and then that basically guarantees that we at least get the okay ending. Because the tigers they basically go on a friggin' spree if you end up leaving them alone. If Cash was not there. Okay, so we got final gear before the end of the game. You may notice here that you actually get access to Damask before the game ends, so it's great. You actually get your full store access at the end, as you should. Now, I don't believe there's anything else I want to pick up here. Probably 3 Damask bows couldn't hurt. And in fact... Man, we got so much copper out of that. Alright. Let's get some 1HKs. We'll upgrade all the ninjas, because they're kind of the last ones to upgrade still. And then I think after gear upgrades, I gotta go get a few more things done for the day, so I'm gonna pretty much call it right there for now. Then on Wednesday, we're doing Variety Day now, so we're gonna try to get that to go. So that's gonna be at least one on Wednesday. Yes, okay, so Wednesday. If I'm not available Wednesday, then it would be a Thursday or some such. And then on Friday, we'll be finishing up this run. So there we go. And all that out of the way. We got our 2 vests. I think we only need 1 more then. Or do we need 2? Yeah, I think we need 2. Yeah, how much are those bows? Okay, just enough on that. And what do we got over here? Just double checking if that one scroll is here. Okay, no. So it must be Denham's shop that has that last one. We got Lingering Dance. Yeah, right, whatever. And then I should probably buy some items, and then we'll be good to go. We'll just sell the crafting books for money. Pick up some men thieves, probably 10 of them is fine. Some of you. 1 of you, even though we're definitely going to need more than that. And alright. We'll see how next time goes. So, you guys have a fantastic one. Take care. Thank you for stopping by. And, yeah, see you next time. Alright. Have a good one. See you Friday.